And welcome to another edition of the Best of Three podcast. I'm Alvin. That's Torrey. And
what up? What up?
TH, we're gonna get straight to it. Tonight is the we're wrapping up the round of 16. Sinner is putting off the putting the finishing touches on Bublik right now. So we'll get to that a little bit later. Maybe that finishes during this recording. If not, I'm sorry. But we're gonna start with the women. Anyway.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. And then Amanda Anisimova is playing Beatriz Haddad Maia. Yeah. But I feel good. We've got the vast majority of the quarterfinals set, locked, and loaded. We're going to start with the women because I think we saw something in this afternoon's matchup that it seemed like everyone was paying attention to.
Yep.
Naomi Osaka versus Coco Gauff. And in our preview to that match, you made some pretty clear declarations about how you felt Naomi was going to come out and play. And I was a little less sure that she had that ability, the ability to make balls and just kind of be steady. Man, the tactical
maybe
spot.
Not she couldn't do it, but that she hadn't consistently shown it.
That's not her A game. That's not her A game, right?
But certainly not.
But it seems like you were on the conference call with her and Thomas Wodorowski, and I'll be damned.
She texted me. Full disclosure.
Exactly. We get 2 games into this match, and it's like, okay, well, I guess TH knows what he's talking about. Yeah. This was an opportunity where tactics met execution beautifully.
100%.
Yeah.
She played. Make no mistake. Coco is a better version of Naomi, dare I say a younger and carbon copy of her from 5 years ago. Backhand to backhand is very solid. Okay. I think Naomi certainly has the edge on the serve, but I remember a young Naomi Osaka beating a champion veteran Serena Williams on that very court.
Yep.
And I saw Serena go to her old standby, which was the attack game. But you're playing a better, younger version of yourself, and you're just not able to out-hit a great counter. I use the term counter punisher a lot, yep. Alvin. You're not able to go through a counter punisher, and you're providing them with the ammo, your pace, your strikes. And if they're fast enough, good enough backhand, good enough returns, and a serve, you are providing all of the horsepower, and they're just using it against you. So what I had hoped that Naomi would do, being the elder statesman, was to change it up. Don't give her a lot of that to work against. There were several points in exchanges, Alvin, where she tried to go through her once she got into the mix. And Coco, as always, she pulled a couple inside-out backhands out.
Inside-out backhands.
She pulled it inside in. She did some things on the backhand side. And make no mistake, even a few forehands, although it broke down quite a bit, that she showed, had she had played her straight up / the normal way, that match would have gone the other way. Coco would have found a rhythm, and Coco would have made sure that it would have been a lot more complicated. And I give her coaching staff and her a lot of credit to play her smart. And I'll be honest, Alvin, the shot that broke down the most was the forehand off the heavy high ball. Way more than the serve.
So
the serve was actually not too bad.
That's all
things considered.
Yeah, that's the space. That's the space in which I think I'd push back on the differences between the two players. So Naomi, right? Yes, backhand to backhand, you would probably go check on both players there. Return to serve, check. Serve, yeah. Coco's, first serve good when she goes for it. Second serve testy. We're aware of that. I think the forehand side is where we, just because of the difference in Naomi has a weapon and Coco has an obvious weakness. Sure. And I think Naomi she does not have any clear weaknesses, and she has a way to hurt. Coco has these strengths that will hurt you, but she cannot attack with them. You cannot necessarily attack with speed. Caveat there, you can in certain circumstances, but she's not going to do it against Naomi Osaka because she's not going to give you the ball to do it upon using that quickness. And then the serve is that didn't kill her today. But it's obviously it
wasn't a strength. It certainly didn't. She
strength.
got broke a lot. But the funny thing about it, Alvin, to me, and they kept making this comment, I'm not sure if it was Lindsay Davenport or if it was Chandler Rubin, that up until midway through the second set, she had not won but 5 points or so. I think she won 5 points on Naomi's serve all set. Now, the set was 6-3, so you're only looking at 4 or 5 games, but think about that. You only won 5
she was holding
points
comfortably.
Holding with lemonade, the LeBron James commercial in the swimming pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was
Stop looking at my lemonade.
The whole time though, it was like I from the time Naomi walked on the court, I think I texted you the same thing. She never looked bothered. She had this smile on her face, this wry smile on her face. She's like, I got you, ass. Like I've got this match. I know I've got this match. I'm playing well. I understand the game plan clearly. And within like first break, right off the bat, it's like, okay,
2-0.
That's we're gonna have a problem. And we'll get to it later. But I saw something very similar in Vondrousova's match against Rybakina. Like she had this kind of wry, relaxed smile on her face. And we're talking about 2 former Grand Slam champions here.
That's right.
Who have not they are experienced in the second week of slams. They're here for the battle. They both looked, in both instances, both players looked comfortable walking into
with the matchup.
Yes, exactly. Like I'm down to dance. What do you got? I mean, it was an interesting match. And when I look at I was I'm a big story guy, a big macro. Like when this year ends. When this tournament ends and not effectively ends our year, but finishes the Grand Slams, it's like, what is the story that I'm trying to extract from the season? And I never thought the story was going to be Coco Gauff wins 2 Grand Slams, right? She even mentioned herself, like she won the French. She's coming in here. She signs on a new coach days before the event because she feels like she's playing with house money. She's like, I already won a slam this year. 3 in the world, whatever she is. Like I'm starting to build towards next year. But this Naomi Osaka thing that is happening, we've been watching it since, I mean, you even want to go all the way back to last year and her match against Iga at the French Open when she had her dead to rights, right?
Thank you.
We've been building towards this with some, peaks and valleys in her play and her confidence, but especially with the hardcourt season this summer, she's been steadily working towards this final Canada. Like she's been there. I don't know what that means as far as the story goes, but
it's left to be written, isn't it?
It's left to be written, but it's sizing up quite nicely for her.
Exactly, and she's starting to tell her own version of Chapter 2. Yeah. Let me tell you what I saw, Alvin. I saw a young lady who, perhaps for the first time since her resurgence, played in the moment. And didn't play to expectations, didn't play to what she used to be, played as the underdog, which was probably nice for her, played as a player who knows where she's going.
Mm-hmm.
She's been there before a few times. A note on Mary Jo Fernandez's horrific on-court interview.
The post-match interview,
Good God.
Naomi
playing on Arthur Ashe. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, let me get that in a little bit. But she played like
first time on Ashe this tournament.
As somebody probably piped in her ear,
right?
Alvin.
Yeah.
You saw how late that comment came in. Don't let me get started on Mary Jo and all the rest of the whole cadre of bad commentators that we tend to have with this game. Naomi played very solid tactical tennis against Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Coco did not play that poorly. In fact, had Naomi continued to hit the forehand, Coco was about to get the forehand online. And it seemed like she started saying, okay. Let me get to the back end a few times. She's hedging to the right now.
Right.
And let me at least run the backhand to open up the forehand. But my point to you about Naomi is for the first time in several years, I saw a smile on her face. You mentioned it about a level of calm right from the very beginning. Alvin, I don't know where she goes from here, but I like it. And I like that she is in a good place. She knew there were times where she was smiling, almost like it's good to feel this way again. You knew she was going to win this match. She was almost smiling, trying to contain herself. That was a bad call. Computer or whatever, she looked over at her box and kind of smiled like, you saw the ball, is that right? And it wasn't even anything to get her flustered. Now, let me make one last comment about Coco. If that's Coco's bad day, We can live with that. If she is going out like that, striking the ball, she still had a couple of aces, Alvin. She still hit the ball pretty clean. You could tell the tactic is something she needs to build on. The girl is still young, man. She is an athlete. She's competing. And if this is her on a bad day, on a bad matchup, against a 4-time Grand Slam champion, then this to me is more of a speed bump than a
I'm not giving her that easy of a pass. I'm not giving her that easy of a pass.
Fair enough.
If you are 3 in the world and you are a 2-time Grand Slam champion, right? The game plan shouldn't be that easy. Like, it shouldn't be that straightforward. Just hit to her forehand. Now, granted, you got to hit a quality ball over there, right? I'm sure in a previous matchup against Magdalena Freck, right? I'm sure Magdalena knew the path as well. She just couldn't hit a ball hard enough to force errors out of it. So, yes, a lot of that goes to and obviously the forehand has been a problem, and she still wins a lot of matches.
Thank you.
Right. So it does take a high quality enough player to force the errors out of her. And I'm also going to get I'm
going to push back on you real quick because you're starting to get into my point. A former Grand Slam champion has that level of ball.
Right.
And I'm not here to say it any other way. And that's the piece we have to speak to. Alvin, I think I sent you this text. There are 8 players in this draw, 4 outside of the top 4, that are Grand Slam champs in the last 5 years.
Oh, that's what it was. It was in the last 5 years. I was like, man, there's so many more than that. But
there's 12. There's 12 total if you include Venus and Vika. But there are 8 since 20 in the last 5 years. So I say that to tell you, you got to appreciate very much unlike the men's game. That's the depth we're dealing with in the WTA right now. You've got girls that aren't even seeded. Alvin, Barbara went out in a weird kind of got sick during the match in Wembley. You saw it. I saw it. I remember when it happened. She had an errant forehand out wide. Wasn't she playing Navarro in Wembley?
Yes, she was up a set and maybe a break and maybe a break and
hit a forehand almost to the stands. And you were like, wow, that's weird. And had a steady decline. You heard it right here. And hey, unfortunately for Emma to play her again in this tournament, but you heard it right here. She would have lost that match in Wembley.
Yeah.
Let alone this one. This time she's healthy. And Vondrousova, when we're back in it, which I'm sure we're going to talk to next, Vondrousova should have played that well in Wembley. That was her, in a sense, her tournament to kind of shine. I was disappointed she didn't play better then compared to her level. Now she's beating the brakes off her back in that match. And Alvin, it wasn't really necessarily a surprise if she played well.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. So I just want to make sure
that's fair.
We're putting it out there that no one else could have done what Naomi did to Coco. I'm not saying that the forehand doesn't need to be fixed. Strike zone doesn't need to be, fine-tuned, and the serve can't be worked on. Of course, we've known that for 5 years. Nothing's changed. I'm simply saying it took a Grand Slam level champion, 4-time I might add, Mary Jo, if you're listening, to pull that out of her. And I just want to then segue back to Mary Jo. You never want to forget or be reminded of a 4-time Grand Slam champ when you're talking about first time on Arthur Ashe. And she almost mentioned it a few times, Alvin. It was very condescending. She mentioned it a few times as if, how's the crowd on Ashe? Like you'd never been here before.
Right.
And part of me was like, Mary Jo, how many times did you play on Ashe?
For the
we know you didn't win it 4 times like the person you're interviewing.
So do your homework next time. Listeners, I'm going to advise you, not just from a promotion standpoint, but go check out our Instagram account. I reposted a bit of a rant by Sally Jenkins about a month ago, and it's kind of gone viral. But it's about this very thing, right? The American commentators, they all feel a little long in the tooth. I think there was a lot of talk about the McEnroes and whatnot, but having been viewing those comments, it's an active conversation, and people in the tennis watching public has strong feelings at both directions. But yes, it's not a
Sally, do a piece on Mary Jo in the interview, condescension. Chris Everett the same. They both are so condescending and so smug, Alvin. It's why I watch tennis so much with the volume off.
Fair.
And I don't want to get too deep into it. She came back at the comment so late, as if to say, oh, somebody's in my ear saying she won this twice already. Oh, this tournament. And then she mentioned it in the close. Like, ladies and gentlemen, Naomi Osaka, you're 4-time Grand Slam champion. And I'm like, a little too late for that. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
I had to say it.
So Naomi plays Karolina Muchova in the next round. So I'm gonna give some space for this, right? Because now I want to talk about the Czechia Armada that has been stirring up the tour over the last few years. And these ladies, between Muchova, Krejcikova, Vondrousova, all of their games give you, Muchova and Krejcikova are two of my favorite players on tour. Hands down. I mean, you can check the tape. I'm out here singing Muchova praises all the time, my friends, because I love variety. And in a world of tennis where we get a lot of sameness, especially on the women's side, it's even more so on the men's side these days, like there's the homogeneity of game styles. All three of these women can slip over to the continental grip and do work. Forehand, backhand. Vondi goes heavy lefty, carve you with the slice. So I'm standing up. I'm not standing up. I'm actually sitting down. But I'm gonna salute all of my Team Czechia. Shouts to Prague. I was in Prague in August last year. I've been there. I feel like I'm honorary. I'm not. So okay, real talk. I stood out like a sore thumb. But it's sore black thumb. All of these ladies are straight grinding through this tournament right now. Muchova looked great in the first set against Marta. She looked a little hurt in the second set. I thought, okay, I'm not going to be able to do my Team Czechia rant in the pod later on. And then just put on her hard hat, went to work, got it done in the third set. I was so proud. She's gone through a lot this tournament with crazy ex-boyfriend popping up and whatnot. And she's not all the way healthy. The wrist isn't all the way right, but she's in the quarterfinals. So here we
Popped up that drop shot one time too many, about 30 feet in the air, and still had to run it down. You could tell. But to your point, Alvin, I saw that. I see the same things. Team Czechia is doing unreal right now. And you heard it right here. All three of those will have at least one Grand Slam. I would say between the three of them, they have 3 more Grand Slams between the three of them.
They have 3 between the 3 of them. So Barbora currently has 2 in singles, like a billion in doubles. Vondi's,
I know that. 3 more.
3 more.
I think the 3 of them have 3 more in them in the next 2 to 3 years, if not sooner, is what I'm saying. I know they have 3 total.
Yeah.
They have 3 more, I feel, just the level of their game and how they are able to, on the right day, on the right surface, Alvin, the right draw, there is the top cannot stop them if they're playing their right game. And I kind of gave Vondrousova a little more love on the grass court where her lefty and her slice. She has pretty good hardcore game too.
Well, she won Wimbledon. She finaled French Open one year. Vondi did. And Muchova, same thing, right? She finaled French Open, semifinaled here, US Open 2 years ago, I believe.
And Krejcikova
will just pop up, win a slam,
just whenever she feels like it.
She might feel like it. She might feel like it this week. I don't know.
If the water pH is just right, she might just win 2 of them. Just to tell you how she feels about it. I'm just mentioning to you the women's game is so deep right now.
Oh yeah.
I was texting a friend of mine who works with Emma Navarro, and I was like, bro, you can't even be mad about that one. I'm like, I hate to say it. I'm like, and I didn't want to say that she caught a bit of a fortunate situation in that match at Wembley, but you actually played her this time and played her tough. Emma did 4 in the third. I say it to say that to me just shows you the depth of the people in the draw. Is Krejcikova even seeded? Is she even?
So she's not seeded. So
that's what I was thinking.
So after Wimbledon last year, so 2024, she wins Wimbledon and then just kind of gets hurt and didn't really play much, came back,
Right. So lost
played Wimbledon, just because she was the defending champion. She's like, I gotta go, I gotta play.
Sure.
And so she had like no matches under her belt, not really in great shape, almost takes out Navarro anyways, right? I think that was like probably round of 32, round of 16, something like that. They're both fairly high seed at that point.
Right.
But
because it was stadium court, it was
but because she had so few points in the last 12 months, and then she obviously won Wimbledon the year before, those points drop off. That's when she dropped her in her ranking. She fell outside of like the top 80, but has had a really good summer. She's in good shape. She's playing good tennis. She's winning matches, and so we're getting the real Barbora Krejcikova right now. And it's
real Barbora. Please stand up. Please stand up.
I tell you, it's like watching your favorite tennis coach play tennis. Like she's just so clean on both sides. And let's bounce over. I know we kind of went around the block here, but between Muhova and Vondrousova, let's go actually to the Krejcikova Townsend match that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
The tennis aside, let's put the tennis aside. Yeah,
sure.
Taylor had tons of opportunities. Barbora, poor start.
8 match points, was it?
It might have been more than that, but I think it was 8. I think it was 8, but 7 of the 8 were there was only one unforced error there. So it wasn't like Taylor gave the match away or anything. I think from a macro view, it'd have been great if Taylor won that match, and it'd been great if the party marched on. But I think what she kind of keymaker came here to do was to introduce the world to Taylor Townsend. She's 29 years old. She's been around the block.
And she did that.
She did that. She
100%.
was even fortunate. We were fortunate that what happened against Panko happened to her because she handled at that time, and it was she handled it perfectly. She backed it up with great tennis. She was right there against Krejcikova. It could have been her in the quarterfinals that we're talking about. But my question, and less about the match, my question is can she build on this?
Taylor?
Can she build on this? Yeah. Can Taylor build on this?
The only thing that's going to hurt Taylor is her current ranking is going to be, unfortunately, just outside the top 100.
Right.
She's still going to have a little bit of some uproar. Well, she hasn't gone that deep in a lot of singles tournaments, Alvin. That's just what it is.
Yeah, but I figured from the points won in this event, she would have been higher. But you're right. It's like she'll be still outside the top 100. So it's almost like she got nothing done.
100%. Well,
not nothing, but
where was she before?
Well, she was 130 something before, and now she picked up 30 spots. That's nice, but you're still qualities in it.
Is quite a bit, and she's still, in my opinion, getting better at singles. Taylor Townsend used to be the perennial upset queen in the first or second round of the tournament, but past that, the other players kind of got formed. They kind of figured it out. They realized they could keep her deep from the baseline. Taylor Townsend is realizing she can stay deep with anybody. We're talking about the girl that skips ground strokes and hits volleys for the first 2 minutes of warm-up, right, in public. That's what got underneath Panko's skin. And now she's realizing I can out-hit any of you off my backhand side, which I didn't necessarily know about myself. My forehand's not terrible. I got good volleys and I got a good serve. And I can hold. And maybe it was more of a belief thing this whole time. And mind you, my fitness and my game have improved. And hats off to my man, John Williams, who's worked with her for the last several years and getting her to that level and believed in her potential. But a ton of hats off to Taylor. I think she's now realizing her actual potential on the singles side of things. And she made a declaration that she now believes she can play singles. She's still in the doubles tournament, Alvin. She's still doing work.
She is. Her and her Czech partner.
Thank you. They're part of your whole Czech situation right there. And you heard it right here, Alvin. I'm telling you, I think the girl has started. A light switch has been turned on in her singles play, where she now believes that she can win and has and she deserves to win with the work she's putting in. So that match was a tough one. Again, Barbora leaned in on her, right? And on all those match points and made it happen. I was impressed that Taylor took it to match point that many times. And the fact that we're talking about she could have closed it out is a huge compliment to Taylor Townsend. And Barbora had her hands more than full trying to dispatch Taylor And quite frankly, got a little lucky and played a little big of the big moments. And I think that the culmination of not coming through perhaps was her undoing more so than the tennis, although the match points were pretty significant. Barbora is a force to be reckoned with, and I think she's coming back. The only thing I see out of all this, Alvin, is, I say it again, the depth of the women's tour is ridiculous. It's just, you just don't understand it when you look at a player who won Wemby who's unseeded in the draw. Vondrousova the same.
Same thing.
They're not
Same
even
thing.
seeded, and they're Grand Slam champions and Slam finalists. Where does that even happen?
Right.
And
where does
it even happen?
One more thing about Taylor, though, like even after not being able to convert on those match points, I was also very impressed that she got right back to work in the third set. Like you would have assumed a lay down, something like a 6-1 or a 6-2 in that third set, but she got down a break, she got the break back. Like she was there. She was still in the match, even though it felt like, maybe it's a different story if she was serving first and not serving second, right? That's a lot to deal with, trying to climb that mountain again, against a former Grand Slam champion. But like, again, hats off to Taylor. She trains here. She lives here in the Smyrna-ish area. I had a one of our listeners, Logan Stevens, I know him well.
Yeah, of course.
Asked,
what up, Logan?
Like, where does Taylor train? Like, if she lives fairly close to us, but where does she actually train? And I'm like, it's not like she trains at an academy. What does a training situation for a professional tennis player not living in, Florida or Monte Carlo, right? Like, what does that actually look like for them? Do you have any insight there?
I have some insights. Melanie Dan used to train with us for a little bit when she was trying to make her return to the tour. It's a lot easier for the girls, I'll tell you that. A top college playing guy on the UTR scale is in the 12 to 14 range, depending on how good he is.
Yep.
A top female is also in the same range, so she can simply go to Tech.
Yeah, 10 minutes down the road, pop the Tech.
She can head over to Athens for all I care, and she can get some really good matches in and pretty much get dusted off if necessary, not too far from home. The men, a little bit different story. Each of those little 0.1s, 0.2s, 0.3s, 0.5s, and so on get a little tougher as you get inside the 15 range where it's just rough. But I will say that to say there is a lot of talent in the city of Atlanta. There always has been.
Yep.
I just want to make a point, Alvin, before you would go further. How does she train and where does she train? Wherever she's doing it, she's doing a great job. But let me give credit where credit is due. And Donald Young Sr., as you may know, Alvin, and we were rivals during that whole time. Yep. Donald Young Jr. and Sco were rivals going through. He did a phenomenal job setting up the base and the belief in Taylor Townsend at the old Tennis in Motion way back in the day down at South Fulton
Tennis Center, yeah.
And you heard it right here. I did not always appreciate Taylor at the time being that much of a bona fide player. There were days where Donald was coming up to us at RCS, which is now Lifetime, and obviously he was going down there. He lives closer to there than he lived to us and on the north side of town. And I remember a couple of times Sco would tell me, "Yeah, I'm hitting with this girl Taylor Townsend, and hitting in with Calvin Kemp, who you remember, and Donald wasn't even there." And I'm like, "Bro, look, I got my own academy up top. He doesn't need to come down to visit you. No offense to this Taylor Townsend." And I remember saying the words, "This Taylor Townsend girl," right? And
the alliteration is beautiful.
and I'm laughing at a lot of this now, and I'm like, He must have saw something in Taylor then, as a coach would have seen, right, and knew how much how much her game would continue to grow. And I just want to say hats off to him and Ilona for working with that young girl, and John Williams, of course, who's continued to work with her all these years and has continued her success. And a huge shout out to Taylor for all the success she's had this tournament, and will continue having the doubles, because she is making me a believer, and she has made me a believer in work. What's the old expression, Alvin? Hard work beats talent.
When talent doesn't
work hard.
Yep.
Right? But when talent works hard,
you're screwed.
So just saying, the girl's talented, man, and now she's putting in hard work behind it, buddy. I think she's headed for top 20 material, Alvin. I think in the next year and a half, she's top 20. I'm telling you, Alvin, she's top 20.
If she can get herself, my big hesitation is this. Okay, this continues to happen with our American players, right? Even our Black American players, right? U.S. Open happens, and it's the lift that the players get at the U.S. Open, right? The hometown favorites, and Krejcikova even mentioned this in her post match. Like, it'd be so great if if we had a Grand Slam, like, so I could have 14,000 fans cheering for me. It has an impact on our American players, and then what you see is sometimes the inability to keep that going. So this has been a special 10 days for her, right? Sure. It's a special location for her. It's a special feeling she gets playing in front of the American crowd, which allowed her to get some of that. The match against Ostapenko, like, it was a lot of that was the crowd as well, against Ostapenko as much as it was Taylor. But now we're still going right back to the same grind where it's like, we got to qualify to get into this next event because she's still outside the top 100. So I think the big jump is if she can get herself across that threshold, maybe even get herself into the 60s when we start to get direct entry into some Masters 1000 events. Now we can not play all these qualifying matches just to get into the first round and be maybe a little taxed. I think that's the big jump. That happens if we can get there by Indian Wells. Okay, now we're talking.
I'm saying 2 to 3. I'm saying 2 more years.
She's 29 though. She's 29.
Don't forget, her first Grand Slam win was on doubles at the French. It's not like she needed the U.S. crowd to get her over the hump.
Sure.
I'm just telling you, I think the girl has some belief. Do I think there's, at any age, is there a bit of a shelf life? And I've gone on record about Father Time is undefeated with one Novak Djokovic and others. But you heard it right here. She's got at least 2 years, injuries and everything else notwithstanding, that she can continue. And her belief right now is that she can do it. And Alvin, I'm here at 32 plus, maybe not so much. But I think she's got the ability. She didn't just beat a few no names. She didn't do an Alex de Minaur and beat Riedel. She beat
a former Grand Slam champion in Jelena Ostapenko. She beat
Jelena.
She beat
Mira. She was max points against Krejcikova. I'm just saying, Alvin, if that doesn't give you the confidence, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's in by any Wells. I'm not saying by 2026. I'm saying I give her 2 years. It is not out of the realm of possibility for her to be at or around top 20 with her current game and to be able to culminate this success in something else.
I agree with you on, does she have the ability? Does she have top 20 talent? I think 100%. That's what we're saying, as opposed to can she actually get?
Can she mathematically do it in the next 2 years?
That's a very that's tricky. That's the point that
tricky.
I was. Yeah, there we go.
Certainly going to be tricky. She beat JPEG more than a few times in a few tournaments going up to this level. She's had wins up to this point that have continued to kind of bother me. Like, how is she continuing to even hang at this level against these level of players in singles? I know how good she is in doubles. And she put 2 or 3 of them back to back in this tournament. Yep. That's all I'm saying. That tells me a player's on the rise.
So JPEG, my regards to JPEG, Sabalenka, and Iga. We'll get to you. You guys are rolling now. I mean, Iga she was in the lurch there for a couple of rounds with some players playing their best tennis. She met a test against Kalinskaya, and then now she seems like she smoked Alexandrova today. So she's where she needs to be. Sabalenka's playing good tennis. We got a whole week to talk about these ladies.
The defending champ always gets
JPEG's over here beating up on the Sisters of the Poor and the older players in the draw. Okay, fine. We'll get there. But the match last night, Rybakina Vondrousova, I think that was a tennis purist kind of match. Like,
100%.
Was it exciting? No. Was it?
If you're a Vondrousova fan,
right? Was it impressive? Absolutely. Yeah. Both ladies. Game plans right on their benches. Like, look at it if you want to. This is what I'm doing. And they were both executing at the same time. It was such an interesting tactical match to watch. Yeah. And again, I mentioned it earlier. Same thing with Naomi. Vondrousova had this wry smile on her face that just made me feel like, nah. She's like, I got this. Yeah. Even when it got away from her in the second set, she comes back in the third. She's like, you're not squaring up any more of these balls. Just like a lefty after a lefty's heart. It was chef's kiss type of lefty execution. I loved it. And her hands,
it was Ratatouille. It was Ratatouille.
It was so checky. It was so checky. Oh man. Oh man.
It's great tennis. I've loved Vondrousova since her nascent win at Wembley a few years ago. But I'm going to tell you right now, Alvin, she's an artist out there. She's an absolute artist. It's beautiful to watch her work. And sometimes you just have to sit back and admire the way she sees the court. I was a big fan of Petra. Petra's the bangers lefty, right? Yep. But Vondrousova is the carving lefty with power.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That can still bring it. She just reminds me of if the genes of Martina were to come back, speaking of old school Czechoslovakia, right? If they were to come back in a player, that player is Vondrousova. What's her first name?
Marketa, yep.
If those genes are now reestablishing in Marketa Vondrousova. And I'm just telling you, I love watching that. I love watching her for the all-courtness of it. But I also like the fact that she doesn't have to. She's got a pretty good backhand, Alvin. She likes to slice, but she can bang the backhand.
Yep.
She likes to volley, but she can smack the forehand. And the serve, Alvin, is all.
Oh yeah, she was hitting dimes last night.
God, Rybakina is 6 feet tall with one of the best returns in the game, and she was dicing her up. It's like somebody out serving Agassi on the men's side. That's context. It's not like you're talking about somebody who just kind of but they're not that good. No. Rybakina's best strength is big serve and big returns, and you're dicing up somebody at the best of the game. That's what was so impressive to me.
And Rybakina was also playing well too.
She was playing good.
She raised her level just a little bit in the second set and was like, I can't get caught behind the baseline. I have to step up it and literally redline it. And it looked very similar to Cam Norrie's second set against Novak, but without as much tennis left to play on the other side, right? Like Cam redlined against Novak, and like I know you can't do this for 2 more sets.
Right.
We all know that.
I'll push back on the comparison, but I know what you're talking
just
about.
One set of like I have to bring it out of your mind. I have to up the risk profile.
That's normal. That's Cam's best of all time. Just saying, and that no offense to TCU's finest. Just saying, I hear your point.
Yeah,
Rybakina found her groove, and
fair. Yeah, okay.
And Cam reached, and I'm just saying that in my opinion, Vondrousova still met the challenge and said, "I'll see you one, and I'll raise you one more."
Yeah,
and it was just a beautiful thing to watch. Again, Alvin, that was a round. Was that round 3?
That was the 4th round.
4th round.
Yeah,
Alvin,
that's tough.
We're still talking. We haven't even got to the quarters yet.
I know. That's we are in a golden,
2 former slam champs.
We are in a golden period of women's tennis right now. Like and we talked about this earlier. The depth in women's tennis gives us these gem matchups like right off the bat that have the opportunity of shaping the rest of the tournament in round 1 or round 2. Like Krejcikova against Navarro part 3 or whatever that happened in round 2.
Right.
You see a seed. I was like, I don't care. Like this is where it's on.
It's bad for the seed.
You can't work your way into the tournament. Like you got to be ready to go right away. I felt bad
for Emma running into her that early. Anybody else, she'd been fine.
Yeah.
2 more matches, maybe she'd have been more prepared. But you running her 2nd round, 3rd round? Kidding me?
Right. Right.
You plan a tournament to get better toward the end. You have you kind of peak, and you got to play some great tennis just to get through. That's tough. That's
absolutely.
Tough
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break. Anna Samova and Hadash Meyer are about to start. So we'll see what happens. One of the interesting things there is if Amanda can get herself past this match, we get a rematch of the Wimbledon final against Swiatek. That would also be really, really dope. But yeah, we'll take a break. We'll come back and we will talk about the men's event a bit.
Yep.
And we're back. All right. So if you're I don't know why you would skip ahead to the middle of this for some reason, but if you didn't catch the entire beginning of this episode where we wax poetic about the Czechia Armada, go check that out. Listen to the whole thing. We're going to talk about the men's side of the tournament right now. Jannik Sinner just finished up against Alexander Bublik. They had a nice hit. Jannik gave him 3 games. I don't really want to talk about whatever.
Jannik said, "I'll bill you. I'll bill you for the lesson later. You can pay me anytime." You know what I mean?
We'll just do 1 hour. Won't even round up.
Exactly.
Won't even round up. So Sinner has himself into the quarterfinals, playing against Lorenzo Musetti. Lorenzo Musetti, my boy, looking good. Just, I mean, he's had some. He played Goffin in the first round. Okay, whatever. Gets who did he have? Cabali in the whatever. It doesn't matter. Don't do that, Torrey. He got Minaur today. Jaime looked like he ran out of, what does that say? American Express. Oh, it's a mustache. I see. You know what? If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Torrey's got a little Musetti mustache on. That's what I'm calling it. Musetti is playing. He's playing his version of hardcore tennis right now. It seems like he's found the ability to bring his fluid clay court game and have it look serviceable on a hard court. This is his best hard court performance on the Grand Slam thus far.
He doesn't look bothered, Alvin.
Right, he's unbothered. He
doesn't look bothered, and I thought Caboli would be able to push him a little bit.
Yeah, he was on fumes though.
I thought Minaur would just be able to do something. He went through him like a hot knife through soft butter. I do not like giving Musetti compliments. That's why I have this.
You gave him a compliment when you saw him in person.
I know, and I feel bad about it.
And he hasn't lost a match since.
Exactly my point. And after watching him, I'm like, God, this guy's better than I thought.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Back to my.
But he's got a problem. He's got a problem ahead of himself. He's got a Sinner problem ahead of himself, and Sinner's never lost to him. You know, they haven't played since 2003 though. So, but
I'm hoping
since 2003,
that the match goes fairly deep for both of their sakes, just to kind of reestablish the pecking order in the old Italian Federation. Now, here's also what I'm saying, Alvin. At some point, as a top player, you do need to get tested. Let's be honest. And neither of them have been tested heretofore.
Dennis gave Jannik a bit of a test for about 2 hours.
Dennis gave him a strong set. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not. And unfortunately for Dennis, you always know that Dennis does not have 3 sets of that level of tennis.
Right. I'm
just saying Musetti has not had that yet, from what I've seen from the draw. And you heard it right here. I think Jannik is. We keep going through this like it's the mid-'90s Bulls. Who is going to play them in the final? You know they're going to get through. You know Carlos is on the other side. What the problem I have is I don't want the phenomenal tennis we're watching to just become the next Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner show,
right?
Where the two of them are just reducing everybody else to the rudimentary forms of the game, because everybody else is still pretty darn good last time I checked. I'm just saying it's very easy, especially in this current age, social media age, everything results are we're almost sizing up players' careers, right? Within minutes of a match. And they have a Herculean effort just to be back relevant in the conversation. Musetti was a former top 5 in the world this year. Let me go back to put my mustache on, because I don't want to give the man too much credit, but the guy is darn good, bro. So I say it to say I'm looking forward to a good match between the two of them because of where he is, and I think that's part of the problem. Is we're already, when I see these straight set type affairs, Alvin, he won 1-1. I mean,
I know, and I think that's where we're talking.
Bublik is a good player, bro.
When you say you're looking forward to a good match with Musetti, I think what we're talking about is, you're actually hoping. And,
I'm hoping.
And hope, as we know,
hope is not a strategy.
It's not a strategy. That we have a seismic gap between the top 2 and the rest of them. And I think we're seeing it in this tournament. We're probably not going to talk much about Carlos later, so I'll talk about it right now. He is just beating the brakes off of everyone with his B game, right? Like, he's just like, I got it. And he's had this problem earlier in his career where he would make early round matches dicey, right? Yeah. But now we're on a streak of 7 straight finals, and he's like, I'm not messing around. I'm here to win this thing, so I'm not wasting any extra energy that I don't have to. I'm even going to take, behind the back half volleys and win points that way too, because I don't want to play any more points than I need to. And so he's so focused right now. Sinner is in the same camp. They're just marching, slowly marching towards each other. Sinner's looking at, and this is the complete opposite of the women's game right now, where we have this depth from 1 to 20, whereas it's 1-2 Novak in there somewhere, and then the rest of these, I'm not gonna call them chumps. I'm not. Guys who haven't done anything
yet
at the highest level. And we say yet, but we're talking about the players left on Sinner's half of the draw outside of Musetti. You've got Felix Auger-Aliassime and Alex de Minaur. They've been around. They're not young. So we're not talking about a yet. They just haven't, right? Yeah. They just haven't. On the other side of the draw, you've got Djokovic, Alcaraz, but then Fritz and Lehechka. Fritz has at least been to the later, the last 2 days of slams in the last 2-3 years. Semis. But Ben gets hurt, and now we got Yuri Lehechka against Alcaraz, and I'm like, it could be interesting. I mean, they are 1-1 this year, so it actually could be interesting. But best of 5, I'm thinking what you're thinking.
Maybe not.
Yeah, probably not. The way he's playing right now, probably not. But yeah, so that's
who do you have? Let's go to something a little more contestable. Felix and your boy the Demon. Where let's go there. Talk to me about the Demon's been cruising through, the benefactor of a gift. I can't say gift draw. His seeds have all lost, and he is now in the favorable position, no fault of his own.
Yep.
Of playing against the guys that beat the seeds. And I know Alvin, if I beat the top seed, that was the match of my life, there's a 90% chance that I'm going to play a little less the next day.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And guess who the benefactor of that has been? One Alex de Minaur. Right?
I'm with you in that, yes, he had Tsitsipas, Cerundolo, and Khachanov all in his small section there, right? But he is the 8th seed, so he's seated ahead of all of them. You would favor him in those matches, but now he's arriving you would expect him to be in the quarterfinal, but with a little more mileage on him. Right now, he's a
little more mileage, a lot more testing,
and
quite frankly, going up against another higher seed.
He would have been playing.
Unfortunately, he would
have been playing Zverev in this. Zverev would have been the high seed that he would have met here in the quarterfinals as a 3 seed, but Zverev met the resurgence of Felix Auger-Aliassime, who then did the thing that you said people usually do, which is then screw the pooch the next round.
Right.
He went back-to-back straight set wins against
Rublev.
Then Rublev in the very next round. So that was today. So in this matchup, usually I'm going to give the edge to de Minaur for his ability to scrap and make balls and so on and so forth. But Felix is obviously doing something right, because he shouldn't have. He wouldn't normally get past Zverev anyways. And I think Rublev was a little bit tired. I think he kind of ran out of gas there. Didn't really have the oomph.
5-setter against Wong.
Right. Yeah. Coleman took it out of him. I just feel like Felix is going to be able to hurt Alex, and Alex isn't going to be able to hurt Felix.
Yeah.
That could be Felix in 4. I'm not in the predictions business, but it's not Felix. The one thing about Felix is that he has top pedigree. He used to be that dude in his cohort.
Who you were looking for to make this kind of run 5 to 7 years ago.
Right. And we're talking about the thing is that this kind of sticks with him, though. The other guys that were in his cohort, none of them have done anything either. So when they all match up, it's he still feels like he's better than them. And if his game is connecting, if he's at one with his game for that particular weekend, it looks like he is.
He was the French Canadian version of the Czechia of your boy Burdick. You know what I mean? Or was slated to be.
Fair. Okay.
Let me say this, and I hope somebody in Felix's camp is watching. What took you so long to get to the net? He finally has come to the net, Alvin.
He's got good volleys too.
And he's got pretty good net game. I don't know why he's taking so long to get there. that to me, I saw a bit of the match with Zverev. I saw a good bit of the match today against Rublev.
Yep.
He looked like he was in control.
Yeah.
He looked like he wasn't afraid to come in. And another quick route, Misha, I know you. I hope you talk to your brother. You gotta quit second guessing the approach shot and get your butt to the net. You're taller than me. You're darn near 6'7". You gotta bring the game into the 21st century in as you call it, Alvin, the year of our Lord 2025. You cannot continue to hope that the backcourt game will give you the edge in a game where you have to continue to take time away off those blistering ground strokes. And I hope that this pissed him off enough to change, or let's start getting the shovel ready for the coffin already. I felt what he did in that match against Zverev, and he did a little bit again against Rublev. He was comfortable coming forward enough to throw off the hard hitter, and who typically hard hitters aren't always the best passers, right? They're too big. They're too busy hitting big. And my point about Felix is he came forward, Alvin, more than I've ever seen him come forward. And my only issue was that I never saw with this all-court game. I never saw him come forward enough.
Right.
So I'm happy. I don't know what's got into him. I hope it stays. But I'm almost like, who are you? And what have you done with Felix Auger-Aliassime?
I mean, let's let it ride.
I just feel like you're starting to play the ball you should have played 5 years ago.
But he's still young. I think Felix is like, I don't have my notes in front of me. I think he's like 28, maybe 27. Like, he's not old. He's still young. So
when he grabbed Uncle Tony as his coach about 4 or 5 years ago, I was almost disappointed. I was like, not my choice. Not for where you need to go. I would have thought a player like an Anacone. I would have thought a player who comes forward a little more, maybe like a Burdick. Somebody who understands that level of coming forward would have been your level of a coach. And I have to tell you, Alvin, I feel like his grinding's been good the whole time, but that's his problem. He's been grinding too long. So anyway, I just want to say, Felix, hats off to you, brother. Hats off to all your success. You and I have had this conversation about Feast.
25.
I'm hoping that Feast takes some notes from this and because I think he's simply the French version, the retread, if you will, of Felix. I'm hoping he takes some of this.
I hate making comparisons, like same ethnicity comparisons, but in this case, it's actually
big serve, good
On.
backhand. Just saying, I'm looking at games.
Yeah, Felix serve a little bit bigger than Arthur's. They both move well. I would say Felix is probably a little bit better of an athlete. I would say Arthur's a little bit better of a big match player. Yep. But yeah, there's a lot of similarity there.
Not always the first to come forward.
Right.
Likes to attack, but kind of second guesses the approach. Doesn't want to put his foot in the. Just saying. Yeah,
no, I'm with you. One last thing on Zverev though. I saw this stat that he's lost 17 matches this year. It's something like 16 different players he's lost to. That's wild. Like that says to me the note's out. Everyone's got the game plan.
Blood's in the water,
and it's
he's
easily
not
executable.
Playing well right now,
or even if he is playing well, whatever he's doing it's an easy riddle to solve now. People understand.
Alvin, you don't lose to 6 different players in a year and be playing well right now. Let me say this:
well,
you don't. Let's just call it a day.
Fair.
Here's something that I want to bring up to you. And you know this better than me. You have coined the term a profile.
Yep.
Is he not expanding the profile that he's vulnerable to?
Well, he's continuing to get older, and his game style is not changing. So as these players come in...
I'm asking the 16 players, is the profile expanding? If you told me that Coco Gauff would lose to this type of player, and she happens to play 4 of them in a row, I would say, I'm not even worried about it. It's the same player 3 different ways. Just saying. Is he losing to different profiles? That's my question.
Short answer, yes. Yes, yeah. There are lots of different styles of player that are beating him, but in the same way.
Yeah.
Like they could all be beaten if he would do one thing differently. all of them. Like not all of them. Take your Alcaraz out, take your Djokovic out, Sinner, whatever. But he's also lost to Lerner Tien, right? And he's also lost to like a couple of different like Argentinians that he doesn't normally like. She has no business losing to. So
to beat 3 in the world, 3 or 4 in the world,
right. So yeah, it's it's his career. I mean, do what you want to do. Like someone will take that spot gladly. So
do you think he falls outside of the top 10 between now and next year? It's looking that way to me.
Oh man, that's a tricky one because he still beats a lot of players. Like that's the thing. Like he's 43 and
we don't disagree.
Yeah, he's 45 and 17 on the world. Like I mean, he beat Shelton in Cincinnati. Like he still beats players. He still beats good players, and then we'll lose like kind of not necessarily randomly, but like Rinderknecht in the first round of Wimbledon, right? Like what are we talking about?
That match was a death knell to me. Rinderknecht beat him in that Wemby match, and I saw him try, and he could not try hard enough to beat Rinderknecht. And you heard it right here. I'm not a huge fan of Rinderknecht. So here's what I'm saying: midway through 2026, I think he falls outside the top 10. And then I think there's enough blood in the water that he falls somewhere in the mid-20s. He has a resurgence of something. And then he kind of dips down again because he will not come forward comfortably enough to continue. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Misha hears it, plays it for him, and says, you see it right there? Even these 2 guys from Atlanta know better than you do. And you're not coming forward. All I did was come forward. I'm your brother.
He is the exact opposite.
It's the snatch comparison. You're my brother. Act like my brother.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Let's finish up with what I think to be the best of these, or not best. I'm interested in this one, and I don't know why. Djokovic versus Fritz. Taylor Fritz reminds me of a defensive back in football. No, the episode's not over yet. You can't say peace. We're not leaving.
Routine.
Djokovic is 10-0 lifetime against Taylor, so you have there's no reason not to say that. I just feel like
you can keep talking. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna put up there again. How about the reverse order? Routine.
Yeah, probably. This is his next chance is his best chance. I'm trying.
Let's try right-handed.
I'm trying.
Let's try right-handed.
I'm trying.
Team.
Okay, fine. Yeah, probably. Probably, except for Novak hasn't. He's looking better, right? He handles Struff, but I think that a lot of that had something more to do with Struff than with him. He still doesn't look great. Novak doesn't look great.
Sure.
He looks good.
He's had a trainer on the court every match up to this point.
Right.
The only thing Taylor can hope is to stretch it out and give the old man a couple of injury timeouts and hope that Father Time is undefeated.
Can he break him? Like, can he just actually break
Can he
Novak?
win a set? And here's my problem with Taylor's, and I'm going to use your version, your jargon, the profile. Taylor serves big, loves the first strike, and tries to manage the point on his terms. Novak is the best returner of all time. I'm going to say it again for those at home.
Yep.
Of all time.
Uh-huh.
So his returns, and at his prime, I know he was breaking 56% of the time. I think one year he got up to 60% of the time. 60% of the time, Alvin, breaking serve. We're not talking making returns, breaking serve. So you have to understand how that profile is like a boa constrictor. Take one more breath. And that's what we're dealing with. And as far as the second ball, Novak didn't give you extra time anyway. He passes like he's unreal. And unfortunately for Taylor, he's starting to come forward. And he's always been a phenomenal passer and defender. I don't see, unless there is an unfortunate medical or training or physical issue, I don't see how Taylor gets through this match. Taylor, and I have to go back to this match, Alvin. Taylor was not able to beat one of the greats without a serve, and a certain Wimbledon
Yep.
4 years ago was not able to get through a non-serving Rafa. Was it 4 years ago? It had to be 4 years ago. And the quarters, and I still hold it against him for not being able to step up and beat him through the match. Taylor is every bit of top 5 in the world. Make no mistake. But his 5 and Novak's 3, I know Novak's not seeded 3, are a chasm different. There are Grand Canyon difference apart from where they are.
Let me add this. Let me submit to this to you. Okay.
Please.
I'm aware of the 10-0 record, right? That fact. Everything you said is true. Fact. I'll go back to the last 2 times they played in a Grand Slam, right? Okay. 2023 U.S. Open, Novak won 4-4, right? Pretty straightforward. Australian Open the very next year. So the very next slam, Taylor got a set. Taylor got a set, right? Okay. So you fast forward almost 2 years now. Where are they in their journeys?
Going opposite directions.
They're going opposite directions. Taylor is either squarely in the middle of his prime or he's, 1 year from it, right? And Novak is, dropping sets to Zachary Svajda, dropping sets to Cam Norrie, looking like he needs a breathing bag against Lerner Tien, right? So yes, Novak has the ability to play himself into Grand Slams, but he's playing against far, inferior players, not real challenges. I'm not saying Taylor's going to win the match. I'm saying if Taylor ever had a chance to make Novak sweat, it's this match on this court. Like this is his only chance, actually. Like this is the chance. And so if he can get one of the first 2 sets, and now we got the American crowd behind him, right? Now we get maybe a little bit of an edgy Djokovic. Like now we have some things here that can start to make the real Novak, like make Mr. 24 Grand Slams, show his medal. Yeah, sure. Bring it out of him.
The only problem is when that profile kicks in, there's a certain quadratic equation that talks about Novak digs deeper.
Yep.
Just off of pride itself, and there's very few that have beaten him when he sinks his teeth into the situation. His lockjaw, so to speak, kicks in.
But at some point, he's going to dig into that bag, and the bag's going to go, I'm sorry, I got nothing left.
I don't know if that's against Taylor. That's all I'm going to say.
That's fair.
I'm going to say this right now. You're correct. Taylor is a phenomenal player. 100%. He's our best American. As much as I love Ben, Taylor is a bit more accomplished. He's a better match manager, Alvin.
Yep.
Than Ben Shelton. Yep. Heretofore, perhaps the next couple of years. Ben could learn a lot from Taylor.
Both coaches' sons.
100%. I would also say to you that he is our best shot at winning a Grand Slam in the next 6 tournaments up to this point in time. And that is no disrespect on Ben. Ben's he's still learning how to make the routine be routine.
Right.
The unfortunate part about this is he's playing his particular profile matches up extremely well against the profile of a player who has won 24 of these things against bigger servers than Taylor. And that's my only issue, is that, as I say, outside of something that is, unfortunate and unexpected on the physical side of things, I don't see this thing being anything more than straightforward. I don't see this match not going 4. But I of course see a trainer, if not 2, on the side of Novak, rubbing something, stretching him out for some unknown reason, even if he doesn't need it. I see that happening because Novak's just that picky and that ornery. But I just feel like Novak, I have watched Novak in this whole tournament, Alvin, play better each match.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen Taylor play the same. And I have seen Novak get more quality. I have seen Taylor play the same. And if 24 Grand Slams is getting sharper, and he's already got a bit of an edge on you anyway, you said earlier, Alvin, hope is not a strategy. To hope that this old elder statesman pulls a groin, has a hamstring pull, something. To hope for that is wishful thinking. And I kind of see Novak saying, buddy, you're in my way of greatness. I'm trying to get to Carlos and to Jannik. I have something left in the tank for both of those two gentlemen, and I'm getting better every match. I don't see myself being tripped up by you.
Right.
You better bring it. And that's just what I see. And you heard it right here. This, as you've often said, Alvin, this could be one of his last tournaments. I don't see your boy hanging out till 2027.
Right. And here we are, though. Like, whoever wins this match, whoever wins this match is in the unfortunate position of having to go through both Chucky Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner in the next two, more than likely, if all right. plays out. Like, that's, you're in this great place, but you're still looking up at you've been hiking. Oh, right. I've gotten myself about, 75% of the way up this mountain, and then you look up and it's like, oh.
And then you're at base camp for Mount Everest.
Right,
and you're
exactly.
Like, oh, geez.
Exactly. So
I finally got to 20.
I will say, in Novak's, like, this would be this is a huge benefit for Novak if he were to get through this match, because they are on the front end of the order of play on the the first day as opposed to the second day. He's going to have a nice little break between the semifinals. This match will be played Tuesday night. They're the second match on Ash tomorrow night. Right. Or tomorrow night. I'm going to say Tuesday night because you're probably listening to this on Tuesday. And then the men's semifinal isn't until Friday. So he'll have 2.5 full days off. Whereas
helps the elder statesman.
Yeah, but then again, so will Alcaraz. Like the winner of Alcaraz.
No. Just saying. Helps the elder statesman.
It helps Novak potentially go into that match.
I don't even know if Alcaraz needs it. You know what I mean? The extra delay almost hurts Alcaraz, in my opinion.
He'll go play some golf. He'll be fine.
Right. He'd be better off going to Ibiza coming back and doing his thing. I just feel like I've been watching Novak get sharper match by match. I don't even want him to win, Alvin. I would prefer for his 25th search to be done and over with and he retire, because I feel like, I know this is wrong to say, because there are so many other good players that need to make their mark in the game and get their teeth into the tour, and he's just picking them off like, buddy, you're not good enough to beat me. You're not good enough. And I'm kind of pissed that he's still around and relevant. And Alvin, he's more than relevant. And it's been pissing me off that he's still in that position. And Alvin, he's still hitting a good ball. So I mean, he is playing good tennis.
To your point, then let me try to drum up a story here. Not a story, but like
talk about that story.
Look, he keeps losing to Alcaraz and Sinner, which makes him feel like I'm still right there. He beat Alcaraz in the Australian Open, right? And he lost the Sinner French Open, but he always has a little. He doesn't have enough in the tank at the end of the event. That's the problem, right?
Yep.
I think if he gets to play Alcaraz or Sinner again, he is justified in continuing.
Yeah.
The thing that will cause him to, I think, bow out is taking a Grand Slam loss to somebody like a Taylor Fritz. This is now Taylor's responsibility. I would agree with
you to a point.
This is now Taylor's responsibility.
Right. It's his obligation.
This is your obligation, young man. You have to take down the dragon. It's not the other guys. You got to do it.
Right.
That gives him.
If not you, who? And if the top two do it, he's hanging around another 3 slams.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
If you want to get rid of this problem, Taylor, you got to take care of this problem yourself.
That's right.
That's the only way we're gonna end this. I think that's a good place to stop. We're gonna stop right there. Let's put a pin in it. I'm Alvin. That's Torrey. Best of 3. We are out.
I love it.